What's up? Hey, this is Miss G, 50 Shades of Glow. What's going on? Yeah, just a little bit. I hope you're all well. Hey, YouTube, how are you? I hope everyone is well tonight. And I hope everyone, let's start it off, get the elephant out the room. Let's address the elephant in the room. Hold on. I got one look on YouTube and one look on. So, yeah. So, I hope I want to get the elephant out the room. I hope everyone voted. Okay. Um, because this still connects to, what we're doing now and our freedoms. And I'm just confused that people would ignore and not vote when so many people have died, eaten up by dogs, um, humiliated, threatened, um, to give us the right to vote, that we in return just blow it off as whatever. And I understand that, government is frustrating. But guess what? At the end of the day, so are we. So, um, everyone wants to point fingers, but at the end of the day, I have my prayers. I got my wine, and it's not Friday. So, I'm on edge, okay? And I jumped on to keep busy, but um, we are just going to make sure, because no one can save us. All right. Hey, Kim. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We're talking about Madagascar tonight, but I just want to address the elephant in the room, make sure everybody handled their business and voted. Um, yeah, everybody voted because so many people died, got maimed, um, to have us clear a path that we have the freedom to vote. And it runs me up the wall when folks just blow that off like it's no big deal. But those are the very people that come back and complain, or, woe is me about nonsense. So, um, at the end of the day, no matter what happens, we got to handle our business. At the end of the day, we have to handle our business because no one is going to save us. So, and especially like a president, because real talk, all of the decisions is made in Congress. So I can't say it enough. But your local election, they make a big deal out of the presidency. But if you miss your local elections, to know what type of judges you have, um, your judges, your sheriffs, your council people, your ward people, your mayors, that's what really makes a difference to you personally. Us optically as a nation, um, yeah, the president is important, but I think we understand that it may look optic, but you know, um, just with the dynamics, this no one should have um, stayed out of this race. No one, no one, because we already know, is we know that person is not a joke. We know they have proven to us what they will do, like boldly. Um, Things that that person has got away with, we could never even fraction get away with it. President Obama couldn't even wear a beige suit, but someone can run for president and have 34 convictions. That just is so. That blows my mind, and it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to me as a U.S. citizen, to the world. So I hope people, because there's some folks out there, and it be us, that want to be different and want to be, you know, want to be different and go against the grain to prove a point. This is not the time. This is not the day to prove a point. This is the day to save our lives. But anyway, moving on from that, it is, I give everyone, hey, Miss Bridget, welcome. Gave everyone 5 minutes to come on. I hope all is well. And I'm going to ask a favor, like I said, that I was going to start doing, because I want to share the African experience with everyone. We learned tonight is Madagascar. Madagascar is really, really interesting, very, very different. If y'all could take a moment, it won't cost you a penny. Won't cost you a penny, won't cost you a bit of sweat. If y'all could push that share button, that's it. You don't even have to share it with specific people. Just hit the share button. I would appreciate that. Come on in the room and just hit that share button. Just hit it, because I want to spread the news to everyone. Okay. So my name is Gloria. People don't know, people are new. I have been in the event space, in the travel space. Yep, so embarrassing. I have been in the event space, in the travel space for over, 10, 20 years. I'm an avid traveler and a 50 plus traveler and a solo traveler. I love I love all places that I have traveled to. I've traveled to about 20 something countries. I really want to get to more than double that. But I fell in love with Africa because Africa is so intriguing. They try to keep Africa on the low low. They try to badmouth it so the masses won't go, so they can like keep it cheap or something. But Africa's wonderful. In my corporate America career, it's always short. I'm totally unemployable. I can't stay at a corporate America job for more than 2 Christmases. People laugh. 2 Christmases, I'm ready to go, or they ready to put me out. So anyway, um, uh, my employer, I noticed that when I looked, and it's a big employer, that I looked on their travel website, and they had Africa, but they had only 2 countries that they were offering travel to, or travel information, and that was Mauritius and Seychelles. How many people, putting a one in the chat? How many people really know about Mauritius or Seychelles? That was the only 2 countries, and those countries aren't even connected to the continent. They are islands off the coast of the continent, and they're exclusive islands. You have to take a private plane and or a boat, so the demographics that go to those um, countries, and it's only 2 of those countries, and it's 54 countries in Africa. And I was just blown away that they did not have choices of Kenya for the safaris. They did not have Tanzania for the wildebeests, the migration, the Great Migration, um, South Africa, nothing. I was blown away. Hey, Miss Courtney, welcome. Do me a favor and just hit that share button. I'm going to get into that. Just hit the share button. It's not costing you a penny. You're not direct. Just hit the share button so I can give more people info. We're talking about Madagascar tonight. So when they wanted feedback from, the employees to make a better company. Okay, so I gave them feedback. And I said I would love to represent the company for the continent of Africa and travel to the different countries so I can train and give the travel consultants his, information on the continent of Africa. And they shared with me that that's nice, but no one travels to Africa. So I said, okay, that's what we doing. Okay, okay, okay. So I said, well, I'll just take the market share because people are traveling to Africa. And when I travel to Africa, ironically, in the tourist spaces, I am the only Black person. Uh, Like every time I've gone 6 times since 2001. I mean, not 2001, 2021. Every tourist, like, Africa, of course, is Black. Love it, right? But when you go into the tourist spaces, I'm usually the only Black person. So don't tell me that people don't travel to Africa. They do, and they love it. Okay. So, anyway, so that's a bit of my story to the people that are new to the channel. And since I do travel, I used to get a lot of questions. Um, I said, let me do a series on just talking about Africa. Let's have some dialogue. Let's dispel some myths and explore the different countries in Africa. So I started the series October 1, and it's been fabulous. I have grown my Glow Tribe. Thank y'all, Glow Tribe. And we're learning. So tonight is Madagascar. Has anyone heard of Madagascar or knew that it was an African country? Put one in the chat if you knew it was an African country or you heard of it, or two if you didn't, real quick. And thank y'all so much for sharing. Sharing is caring. Sharing is caring. Yeah, I want to spread the word. So just share, and so other people, that, because a lot of people would love to know. So don't keep all the juicy stuff to yourself. But so Madagascar. No one put a one or a two in the chat. But anyway, all right. So Madagascar is an island. Madagascar isn't connected to the continent either. It is an island um, off the coast. Thank you, Miss Bridget. Off the coast. It's in the it's in the eastern region, the southern eastern region, and it's an island. It's an island by itself, but it's like a ultra, like it's so unique and so beautiful. Um, it's so beautiful and unique to the point that it's like unexplainable. And what they have in that country, um, no other countries have it. So they almost nickname it as the eighth continent. There's 7 continents, but the little Madagascar. Sorry, I know tonight is not Friday, but y'all understand why I'm having me a glass of wine. I need to, yeah. I try to stay cool, but I'm like, 1 minute I'm like this, I'm good, and then the next minute I'm not good. Then the next minute I'm good, then the next minute I'm not good. But anyway, so just keeping, I'm just gonna go straight to bed. They said that they would have the results in by midnight. I'm just going straight to bed. I'll wake up in the morning to find out. But yeah, so anyway, so it's a island off the off it's an island by itself, um, not connected to the continent, but it's on. Hey, Caden, welcome. Do me a favor and like and share. Share. Just hit the share button. That's it. Don't share it with anybody. Just hit the share button. But and I want to welcome. So it's an island off of the continent. Thank you. It's an island off the continent, and it's known for its unique. Hey, Lynette, welcome, 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 welcome. It's known for its unique and exotic, biodiverse landscape. They have all different landscapes, their animals, their wildlife, um, diverse landscapes, and it's World Heritage Site, but it is tagged as it's tagged as almost like the eighth continent because it's so different than any other continent. It's in its own space. So there's animals and landscapes and bio. Like if you are a ultra. Now some people are, they like nature, but if you are someone that loves to hike, loves to camp, loves different, you don't mind different bugs. I'm not a bug person. Keep me in the house. um, Bugs or uh, just different animals. Like they have different little snakes. I'm not sure if they're venomous or not. They have snakes. They have lemurs. Does anyone know what? I know, me too. Does anyone know what a lemur is? A lemur. So, I mean, all different types of exotic animals, not the regular animals that you see. So, it's a place where, if you're one of those tree hugging, um, tropical, you know, um, you're into the birds and the this, and being outside in the like ultra tropical doesn't like bother you. This is a place for you. If you are just into the ecosystem, this actually, um, and I think I'm going to do a I'm going to do this as a tour next year because it was so intriguing. The baboa tree. The baboa tree is the if you just look that up, it's that tree with the big trunk, and then at the top it has the branches. That's the baboa tree. That's the baboa tree. But that doesn't in Madagascar. They really don't have the baboa trees. They have different species of landscape, all different type of landscape. It's tropical mostly, but you can have all different type of landscapes from one area to the other. It's its own entity, and if you this Madagascar is truly 100% an eco travel tourism um, uh, place. So you have to be an outdoorsy person. You have to be someone just that loves nature, that does not mind to be out there with the monkeys and the chameleons and like that type of vibe, if that's what you're into. And some people are into that. So if you are really into ecology, because even in the water, they have thousands of different species of fish. They have different wildlife. They have different plant species. It's beautiful, but you have to be that type of person that's into that for this to be a fit. And uh, even with that, so you go, and it is a tourist spot for some tourists, but they recommend that when you do go and you hike, because you'll be hiking through the tropical forest, like for real, like real tropical forest. And you may be experienced in hiking, but they highly recommend. Hi there, Tori. Welcome, 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 welcome. Um, they highly recommend that you have a tour guide with you, that you have an accompaniment with you, and you do not hike and go through the wildlife by yourself. So even if you are, if you've done it all the time, they do not recommend. So you have to go with a, uh, what do they call them? Uh, you do go with, um, you go with an aide, um, uh, almost like a security person that helps you through the hiking process. But it's beautiful, but it's made for certain people. It's made for certain people. Shauna, welcome, welcome. And y'all do me a big old favor, because sharing is caring. Just hit that share button so I can share beautiful Africa with as many people as possible. That's all I ask of y'all. That's all I ask. Um, so it says, yes, someone to protect me. I have to feel. Oh yeah, no, that's you're not going to go by yourself, because you'll get eaten up by something. Like it's deep. It's deep. So yeah. So, but it's a beautiful place. I don't have my handbags, but I give this place actually like four handbags. And I give four African handbags. I got to say African handbags. I give it four African handbags because it has to be your thing. You have to be, an ecologist and into that. If you're not, it won't work. Okay. So that's why I'm not giving it five, but for that total experience, that's not my vibe, but it's someone's vibe that would love it. You have, really just going through the tropical forest, and it's not what you see on TV, like a real tropical forest. Yes. What else? What else? It's a whole lot of good stuff with Madagascar. And as I said, Madagascar is not connected. Oh, you want to join on video? You want to join on video, Miss Lynette? Or did you just hit that? You can come on video. You want to come on video? Because I like to discuss. And you want to come on video? You can, anybody can come on video. Oh, no problem. Okay. No one rushes to come on video. That's why I want to make sure that you want to come on video. Also, to get there, now I share, and this is a travel, like a constant travel tip. Does everybody have their passport? If you don't, that needs to be your Christmas present to you, or have somebody give you $125 and get your passport. Because let me tell you something, and we are here, like I got my wine, I have my wine, because I got my wine tonight. I have a bottle of champagne in the refrigerator. Hopefully I am going to use it, okay, this evening. But you need to get your passport, because if if the situation goes left, you don't know what can happen. And that US passport, how do you get from Mozambique to I would have to research that, because you take the plane. You take the plane. But Mozambique is another country. And we'll be talking about Mozambique, since it's probably in the next couple of days. But you get on a plane from Mozambique. And yeah, because Madagascar is an island. So you got to take a plane to Madagascar. I believe Mozambique is part of the continent. Is on the mainland. So you take a flight. A flight from JFK to Madagascar. So you can go into two areas. You can go into the capital. I'm going to destroy the name. It's called Anna Anna Tanarivo. That is the capital of Madagascar. Or you can go to Nosy Bay. Nosy Bay is another island off of Madagascar. So Madagascar is a big island, and then Nosy Bay, that's where you really in the middle of nowhere. Okay, is a smaller island off of Madagascar. All right, and round trip leaving from JFK um, to the capital is about 1300 starting, and then going to Nosy Bay, it's about 1900 starting. Okay. Um, the great times to go is between the prime time that goes between April and October. And the ironic thing is, in most of the other countries, um, that's rainy season. So this is like the opposite. It's the opposite. Um, and so April to October. But if you go from April through December, you're pretty good. It's nice, and the temperatures are pretty cool. But April to October is a good time to go. And what else is really good is they have festivals in June. So the perfect time, yeah, the perfect time is to go is June. And I am going, like I said, the Madagascar was different, very different. I'm going to put a trip together um, to go to Madagascar for my eco tree loving people. So I see some questions, and I'm loving the questions in the chat. Yay, finally, y'all asking a question. All right, no ferry, Bridget. Let me see. So it says, how do you get? All right. So a ferry, no, it's no, because you're in the ocean. You're in the Indian Ocean. This is not like it's not a ferry. Because you're in the Indian Ocean. I would want to take a ferry. um, all right. Kaden says, "Hey YouTube, I'm here. I'm looking at y'all to make sure that no one pops in on YouTube. Um, how much do flights to Madagascar actually cost? To Madagascar, like I said, to the capital, that's Antananarivo. I know I just destroyed that name. Anna Antananarivo, that is the capital. Those start leaving. I didn't check Dulles. I only checked JFK. They start round trip at 1300, 1300. Then if you want to go to Nosy Bay, okay, Nosy Bay is the more tropical island, beautiful. Off is another island off. So you have the continent of Africa, right? You have the continent of Africa. Then you have Africa has a lot of islands and a lot of countries that's not even connected to the mainland. So you have the continent of Africa that we all know. Then you have Madagascar is an island. You got to fly to, and I wouldn't get on nobody's boat to go from. No, I wouldn't. No, no, no. And we're going to talk about that pretty deep conversation when we talk about Tunisia, because there are we're gonna I'm going to leave that for then. But some people do. We don't want to do that now. But so Then off of Madagascar, the island of Madagascar is a small island, and that is that is that is Nosy Bay. That's Nosy Bay. So you would take a plane, and from JFK to Nosy Bay is about 1900, and going, let me roll back a little, to go to the capital, it's about 17-hour flight. To go to Nosy Bay, it's about a 22-hour flight. I want to add that. Okay. Let me go back because I was talking about something. Yeah, so if you're a hiker, like a serious hiker, this is an eco tourism trip. Um, it's on the main coast, like the origination is the main. It's off the eastern, East Africa, and it goes all the way back to like the 1500s, late 1400s, 1500s, and they were colonized, of course, in the late 1800s, and their language, their indigenous language was Swahili Bantu. Um, they, yeah, they don't speak English. Hey, Miss Kel, thank you for jumping on. Please share, please share. That's all I'm asking people to do. That's my new rule. Sharing is caring. So yeah, just hit the share button. Not gonna cost you a thing. No. So Miss Bridget asks, do they require the yellow fever shot? And the crazy thing is, they don't. When you're in the freaking tropical with the bugs and the this, but um, taking your malaria pills is highly, highly um, uh, advised. So, I was studying and watching this girl, and yeah, yellow fever. And that's so weird. Like other countries where it's like pretty industrialized, they want you to have a yellow fever shot. But you're in the middle of the freaking tropical, like middle of nowhere, and that's not required. But yeah, that's not required. That's weird to me. That's very weird to me. But I would highly suggest, even though I'm not, I told y'all I don't fall for, because when you go to get your shots, they want to talk you into, they fear monger you so bad. They're like, oh my God, well, you need to take the hepatitis one, and you could need to take the hepatitis two, and you need to take this. They want to give you like, literally, when I was there, that lady tried to talk me into taking like 10 shots. And I was like, no, absolutely not. Nope. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. She tried to talk me into at least 10 shots when, it was only one required, but she was trying to fearmonger me so bad. And, I had to take the yellow fever. And it was only because I was going to Tanzania. I was going to a country that required yellow fever. But yeah, this place, I would think that they would require yellow fever. They don't. That's not a requirement, but malaria is, and that's obvious because you're going to run into a lot of, like, I guess, what, not wild bugs, but you're going to run into a lot of bugs because it's tropical. It's tropical. So, and you will be living off the grid, like for real. The hotels, they do have some nice hotels. I'm going to put a nice package together for 2025 June, because, like I said, it really intrigued me. So when I'm going to add some things on my website. I'm working on my website. So, and have already done trips that people can choose from. And then I'll also be doing the private curated trips. But learning about all the countries, I want to have, packages already done with places that are pretty impressive. And Madagascar is really, really impressive. So, um, one of the exotic um, um, animals, because they're wildlife. Donovan, how are you? Welcome. One of they have uh, very indigenous and exotic animals that you won't see anywhere in the world, um, in Madagascar, and one of them is the lemur. Lemur. Do y'all know what? Yes, a lemur is. So if people know the movie Madagascar, and you know that like little wet nose primate, that's the lemur. And I think Madagascar is the only place you can see that animal. So pretty cool stuff, right? So there, and what other animals are there? So the lemur, different things. Yeah, the lemur is a big one, but again, you will probably see a lot of snakes, the little skinny tropical snakes. So right then and there, I won't be going. No, I won't be going. Okay, snakes have got to be contained. So it says, let me answer some questions. Do you need a visa? Yes. Yes, you do need a visa. Oh, I was getting back to the travel tip and making sure that everyone has their passport. And if you don't have your passport, um, make that your Christmas gift to yourself, or have someone give you $125 to get your passport. Because that blue passport, now, if you've just traveled to the Caribbean, okay, you really don't see how powerful that blue passport is. And even though, the United States has their stuff, when you travel abroad and you pull that blue passport out that says United States, I can't say it enough. People stand to attention. I don't know why. I don't know what they've heard, but they be putting respect on the US, anything, the US dollar, the US passport. It's the weirdest thing. And like when you travel in Africa, the crazy thing to me is the currency, the dollar, um, the US dollar is worth however much. But the euros are worth more. But they respect the US dollar is it. But the euros, hey Miss Cheryl, welcome. But the euros are worth more than the American dollar. But anything USA American, they worship. I don't know what they tell them. It's the wildest thing. So when you pull out that blue US passport, you would think that you just I can't even explain it. People stand to attention, you get respect, you us being of color, we get the benefit of, I don't want to say entitlement, I hate that word, but we have access that we don't usually have being in our confines. But when we travel abroad, like real abroad, not Caribbean, but abroad, transatlantic, it's a whole different vibe. It's a different vibe. So get your passport, and with your US passport, you can pretty much travel anywhere. We don't know how blessed we are. We can really travel anywhere in the world and not really get permission. We just got to fill out a couple of papers sometimes before we go in some countries, but some countries do visas on arrival, and we get it when we get there. As long as you have certain passports, and one of the main passports is United States passport. I think the United States passport and I think the Japanese passport has the most freedoms. But you can run into, like, when I go to Africa and I have a lot of Italians. I know a lot of Italians, and a lot of Italians with money. They can't go to the United States. They got to go through a whole lot of hoops. They got to get, approval, visa approvals. They can't just go and say, "Oh, I want to go to the United States." They can't do that. But we can go. We can go anywhere in the world, like on a whim. We can go to I want to go to Timbuktu tomorrow. We could go to Timbuktu. No one's gonna question us, as long as we fill out the little paperwork and pay the little $50 or $100 or whatever. So when we travel, that's why I really press travel, because stop it. What time is it? Yeah. Press you traveling. It really opens up a lot of things for us. And we are just treated, it's a whole different experience. I don't want to even say we're treated whatever. It's just a different experience that we would never imagine. So if you don't have your passport, you're just missing out on life. You're so missing out on life. Going to Vegas and Florida is not traveling. Sorry, no shade. That's going to Jamaica is not traveling. Going to Puerto Rico is not traveling. It's nice, but it's really not traveling. And going to the motherland, I think every person of color, every Black person, especially every Black person in the United States, needs to go put their foot on the continent of Africa. I can't say that enough. You need to put your foot, especially in this day when we have the access, to put our foot on the continent of Africa. It don't matter. We have 54 choices. 54 choices. So, and going to Africa, you can get flights as low as $800, $700 round trip. Going to Kenya is like $700, $800 round trip, during certain times of the year. So you can fly to California and it'll be the same price. Or Vegas, it'll be the same price. So definitely, Japan's, Cheryl, Japan's passport is supposed to be just as, flexible as the US. I think it's second. It's second, but a lot of passports are very restrictive. They have to go through the embassy and apply and get all these clearances to travel, especially if they are traveling to, thank you, especially if they're traveling to the United States. They can't, that, or anywhere. They can't go to just any country. They got to go through some stuff. So we are blessed with that. Thank you. You're my first person that sent me stars. I don't even know what that means, but thank you so much. I could ask everyone to share. Let me see what else we got. Please just hit that share button. I would appreciate it. So, so the history, from what we see and know as people, it it was as far as like the 1400s to the 1800s, and then it got colonized, but they had their own kingdoms. And a lot of the African countries, some of the African countries till today still have kingdoms. They have kings. So that's really deep. No one talks about that. But yeah, it was kingdoms, but it was colonized in the late 1800s. But they did receive their like most of the African countries, like in the early 60s, they received their independence. But it goes back so far, like the origination is the Mayans. People have heard of the Mayans, right? The Mayans culture. So the Mayans culture kind of runs into like Indonesia whatsoever, and that's even in like the music too. So their music is like a little African, a little Indonesian, um, what else? And Arabian. So that's real different and really, really cool, the music. But it's just like a chill place. So the folks that came in later in Madagascar is just a place where if you are a hiker, if you are totally like seriously into nature, um, that's a place that would be your ultimate trip. Everything is pure, everything is, you see different birds you've never seen before, you've seen animals, and those animals, birds, terrains, landscapes are specific to Madagascar. So that's why I have to do a trip there. I have to do a trip there. But Madagascar and the Mayan Empire has been as early as 2000 BC. That's how old it is. So that's pretty cool. And most of the African countries are like as old as that when you want to go back. But, the first signs of civilization, I guess, when the explorers came came and colonized, they usually see it, 1400s, 1500s, and rule it till about the 1900s. And then the Africans are like, this was our land, thank you, we gonna take it back. So anywho, let me see, uh, the food there, they eat, their main food, it's called like a Roman mazaba. I be tearing these names. I be tearing these names up. But it's like a beef stew, leafy greens. They do eat eel, so I won't be doing that. Okay, and pork. I don't know where they get the pork from in the tropical. That's interesting. But anyway, um, their language, their original language was a mix of Swahili. Yes, 9 p.m., Miss Cheryl. We're going through. Hey, Kalani, welcome, welcome. Um, I have been doing this because I get so many questions from people, and I have been doing this since October 1, and we are covering all 54 countries. So we'll be finishing probably at the end of this month. We've had some cool guests. Love it. Yeah, we've had some cool guests, and I have more guests. I have a guest when we talk about Namibia. It's a lady, okay, and she has a tour company. She and I talked about Namibia, and how she said it was like zero tourism, and then since COVID, like the first year, she may have seen 100 people. And now she's like, it's like triple. And it's been mostly like from the West or the US. And she said, for what you would pay so much for if you did um, travel in like Kenya or South Africa or Ghana, you can get Namibia, and it's again that pure beauty for like one third of the price. So I'm excited. I will be excited to have her. Then we've had guests on that may have lived there, that may have lived in Kenya, or Americans that are there. So I have another guest that's slated to come and talk about Nigeria. She has been connected to Nigeria for like 35 years. She's married to a Nigerian. She travels a lot. So just trying to get folks on. What else? Let me see. Other good stuff before we end. I told y'all that this was going to be pretty cool. So, yeah, they did have a king. And what is also cool, there were two empires. I forgot to tell y'all this, T. It was two empires that kind of fought against each other. And there were, in these empires, there were three queens that ran Madagascar. Did anyone know that? It was they had three queens. So they had the original king. Um, they had two empires. It was the Marina Empire and the Sakalava Kingdom. Okay, empires or kingdoms. And at first, the Sakalava Kingdom, the king was ruling it whatsoever, and then he died, and his wife took over. And his wife was like no joke. Okay. So she went and put a lot of restrictions. She took Christianity out, like she was Mitch, right? So after she died, her son took over, but he restored all the stuff that she took out. So then the son, this is all tea, honey. So then the son was assassinated, right? The son was assassinated, and I think his wife took over, right? His wife took over, but she was kind of whatever. And then, or the daughter, or the other daughter took over. It was someone that was 22 that took over, that was part of that lineage, but didn't know what they was doing, okay? Because they didn't expect to run a kingdom. And everything went just downhill. So that's when the Marina Empire, because they were all kind of fighting against each other to take over. That's when they took over, but it was still conflict. And then during that whole time, that's when the colonizers came in and just took everything, messed everything up. So, but they kind of got it back. But that was like the TT back in the day. Okay, I forgot about that T. That was the T. But they had three queens that was over those kingdoms. Yeah, that was pretty cool. So, what else? So we got the festivals in June. So a great time to travel there is in June. And you don't need shots, just malaria. If you ever thought about, really living there off the grid, and you're just that really ultra tree hugging person, the cost of living is only $500. $500 a month. A month. So the apartments can be pricey, but your cost of living is $500 a month to live there, and everything is nice. So I know you just look beautiful because you're near the water, so you get in the fresh fish and the fresh everything. So they have a strong maritime culture there. Um, they cultivated rice. That was their main thing that they were making. And the queen's name was Queen Raladala Randa